Hi, everyone. Welcome to Deliberately Intentional with me, Remi. This podcast is all about everything intentional and intentionality. Today is actually a really good day to talk to you about something that happens to me on a regular basis, or something I do on a regular basis, and that's about how I celebrate both myself and my husband intentionally. So today's June 6th. We're recording June 6th whenever this episode airs. But today's June 6th, and I'm wearing my husband's favorite colors. He has three favorite colors. It's black, blue, and green. So you'll notice that today's outfit is blue and green. And yes, it's very intentional. It's something I've always done. I've always celebrated birthdays. I was the kind of person that back in the day when I didn't have any money, I would make paper cards and I would bake to celebrate birthdays. This was back in Nigeria where we didn't have a lot of money, and I knew about making cardboard cards with construction paper, and I was doing things like that, and people looked at me like I was odd because that's not kind of the thing that you were doing. Or let me see, like 35 years ago in Nigeria, it just wasn't. It was like, okay, you got somebody a gift if you wanted to, but it wasn't a normal thing for people to celebrate their friends or stuff like that. So I was a little odd. But as I continued to get older and go through life, I realized that those moments made me happy. I took note of people's birthdays. When I meet you, I would most likely take all of your information and I would add your birthday to my calendar. That's how I keep track of everyone's birthdays. I always have a calendar reminder. One of the first things I do when I wake up in the morning is I check whose birthday it is. I make a note. I send them a note or a prayer or a picture or a post. It all depends on how close we are as people. But I've always celebrated other people, but I've also celebrated myself. Once I left home, my dad wasn't necessarily the kind of person that celebrated anyone's birthdays. My siblings, we all tried as much as we could to celebrate each other. My sister, Tosin, for example, would, on the day of my birthday, if I was home, she would make something. We couldn't do very much. You couldn't go out and get a gift, but she would make something, whatever it was, whether it was whatever food we had that day, she would just make it a little extra. Or she would have saved up and kept some of the food from previous days, knowing that the day of my birthday, she was going to make that special dish for me. I know it sounds odd, but it's just the little things. So when I moved to New York by myself, I always celebrated my birthday. I have tons of pictures of me going. I would go out myself because I didn't have friends in New York City. I went out by myself. I went out when I gathered friends. I made sure that I didn't care whether they were doing anything for me. I was going to celebrate my birthday. It's kind of like a celebration of self. You always have to think about the things that you do to surround yourself with happiness, how you are celebrating yourself. What are you doing to say, hey, you know what? You made it another year in this world, this crazy world that we're living in. You made it. What are you doing to celebrate that? So when you say to anyone, or you do that, or you even preparing for it, that's what you're saying. You're saying that, yeah, I'm grateful I'm here. I'm happy for where I am in my life. And you're celebrating yourself. It's the most self-aware, self-caring thing that you could do. Whether you have anyone in your life or not, celebrate them. But outside of that, and by the time I met my husband, of course, now I started to say all the things that I'd been doing in the past to all my friends. Of course, I showered it on him. I'm the kind of person that would plan for his birthday at least a year in advance. He's not that person, by the way. He would miss my birthday every single year because it was just not anything that he was thinking about. But I was most definitely that person. Whenever I had money, I would suck it up and be like, oh, he has to have a gift every single year. I've kind of chilled a little now because he doesn't appreciate it that much, so I stopped doing it that heavily. But back in the day, I was very much on top of it. His birthday never passed without something. It could be a slew of cards. It could be, I know I've sent him, there was a time we were apart and I sent him flowers at work so that just to make him feel special where he was. I've sent him food when he was in a whole nother state. Of course, all the fashionable things that he loves, we do all of that. But now that we're older, we're still celebrating each other. He has gotten much better with celebrating me because now he realizes that it's important to me. And now our son is involved with it too. And he gets a kick out of, I want to get this for dad. And it's the most beautiful thing that, you know, one of the beautiful things in my world that always fills me with joy is looking at their relationship. But it started from our relationship, and our son just has piggybacked off of that. But so this weekend, we're going to be celebrating a few other Geminis in our lives. which someone's having a party. So, of course, we're going to go out there. We're going to go to happy hour. Our son is finally old enough to go to the bars with us. So we're going to be that type of parent. We're taking him clubbing. Pray for us. And it's just going to be a fun moment with family. I'll leave you with this. No matter what's going on in your life, you have a reason to celebrate yourself. It's the most intentional thing you can do. So get your shoes, get your clothes, dress nice, look nice. Either grab a few friends or do something by yourself. But the point is, do something. You deserve to be celebrated. So happy birthday to my husband again. I love you dearly. And happy birthday to you guys out there. If you're not celebrating yourself, you should be. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Deliberately Intentional. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Catch us again on Wednesday. Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Bye.